Hey, Gabriel Blake.
Hey, Gaybros, Jose.
Where are we today?
Today, we are at my apartment, both of us, not our respective apartments, and we did go to a bar.
We did?
That just recently opened, Aunt Charlie's in the Tenderloin, and it was too loud for us to record, so we came back to my place.
Yeah. So we exchanged like the lot of neighborhood people and the how do you say, and the obnoxious 20-year-old kids that they were around in the bar.
Yeah, it was quite a crowd.
Yeah, it was like pretty interesting. We exchanged those for an adorable Chihuahua.
Yes, a very quiet Chihuahua who just begs for food.
Yep, and attention.
And since she's so quiet, she can be on the recording.
Yep, but not say anything. Don't disagree with us. And talking about not disagreeing, what did we watch today?
Today, because you really wanted to watch it, I gave you 3 choices, and you chose the 2016 Paul Verhoeven masterpiece starring Isabelle Huppert, Elle.
Okay, why did you make me watch this again?
To be honest, this has been such a long-running joke between the two of us. I think that I just loved this film, and you didn't. And so I just kept bringing it up as something that I wanted you to watch again. But honest to God, I don't think there's more than that.
Okay. There was no like ulterior motive. What was the previous one? Oh, it was Shame. That was the previous one that we watched.
Yeah, so when you compare Shame and Elle in context, you can see that Elle is completely elevated compared to what Steve McQueen can do. It's like a far more sophisticated, what's the word? Like, to examine something sexual, Paul Verhoeven is clearly more talented than Steve McQueen.
For the audience right now, I'm like staring, not saying anything. That my co-host, I'm trying to have like a neutral expression. I don't know if I'm succeeding at it or not.
I could barely get through that without laughing. Obviously, Steve McQueen is far superior, but I will say that
the Showgirls director, the RoboCop director.
No. Sorry, Steve McQueen is far superior.
Than Paul Verhoeven.
But there's something about this film that I genuinely like, and remind me, we started recording after we watched this film, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually, this is from 2017, no? 16, yeah. We went to the cinema. I think that you went first and you told me, oh, you had to watch this, and then I went to watch it and it's like, I said something after that. I had thoughts about the movie.
Listeners might be surprised to understand that while Jose and I are best friends, there's never any friends better than us. But
you're going today with that, with a running joke. Okay, we're Gaybros.
But we've seen less than 10 films together in theaters.
Definitely, yeah. Jurassic Park was one. Yeah.
Jurassic Park, Nymphomaniac Parts 1 and 2, Let's Be Cops.
But that doesn't count. We actually left the cinema after 5 minutes. Because I was like just giving you a similar look to the one that I was giving you a second ago.
So I saw Elle with my husband, and I thought it would be right up your alley, and it wasn't. And why wasn't it?
Well, I mean, first I think that I should talk a bit about like what the movie is about, without like giving my opinion like right away. So the movie opens with Isabelle Huppert, that is a middle-aged woman living in Paris. It opens with she getting raped at home, and how she actually, after getting raped, she just stands up, cleans everything, and carries on with her life as nothing was happening, even like ordering some sushi on the phone. Then we see her like just going through life until in a dinner with friends, she breaks that she was raped. And she basically not in a way of, like breaking down and crying, but a bit more is that, oh, I was raped. It's like, oh, why didn't you call the police? Or why didn't you do anything? What was there to do? Is that there is nothing. I was raped. It's like, what is going to change? And we see that she's a very hard-ass person, a bit of a bitch, and also because she has like a bit more of a past, that her father is basically a serial killer.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah. He actually snapped one day. He was like a model father, and one day he snapped and he just killed like 25 people around the neighborhood. And there is this picture of Isabelle Huppert character when she was little, like just in next to a fire where they burn like a lot of the clothes and stuff that belonged to the victims of the father. And supposedly she didn't know anything, but she was always accused of being part, by the media, of being part of the crimes that the father committed. So that defined her life.
Which I found very bizarre because she was 10 years old when her father did this. I don't understand how anybody could blame her.
Well, but it's, it's society.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a... Yeah. I think that one of the topics in Paul Verhoeven is usually how people are, how do you say, not manipulated, but at least how the public opinion is formed by the media, how we're going to be manipulated by it. So for her, it's like we see her like just watching the TV several times, and there is always going to be, I like that there are like two news that it happens that is about like the appeal of the father for a reduced sentence, and also about the Pope going to Santiago de Compostela that is in my home area. So I found like that's cute, it's cute. It's like I understand that they want to emphasize, so they want to create more of the character, giving that background. That is okay, this a normal character wouldn't have, like going through these things in this way. This is a bit more of a hardened woman because of what happened when she was little, that she had to just work on everything like four more times than a regular person in that situation, So it's like, there is this, she's a director of a game studio.
CEO.
The CEO.
Yes. Of a like independent video game producing company.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that video game existed. Styx is a video game that exists.
Does it really?
Yeah, I don't think that it had like that sexual content in there, but yeah, it does exist. Isabelle Huppert was not involved with the creation, but it's a game that it was created by a Parisian studio.
So Kronos actually existed?
Kronos, no.
Oh.
I check it out. They just made it up, and they said, okay, let's go with a game that is like being created right now, and they went with that, with the Styx. I don't know if they were like just trying to give like a shout out to that studio or something at the same time. But in any case, also she's separated, and she has like this, I don't know, like freedom for just having sex with whoever, and it looks like she appeals to married guys from the perspective of not getting like emotionally attached to them, because he says to his ex-husband, separated husband, he says something like, we had a rule that is ever going to be like just hanging out with people around our age that they are married, because he started like just playing around with this very, very young girl, like in her 20s, that is a yoga instructor and loves his writing. I love that scene. Is like, okay, that was a good joke. It's like, I was in bed, I asked him like what was the verb of my books, what was his favorite one, and he picked a book of another writer that is called like that is like, oh god, that has to be like just heartbreaking. But in any case, we follow like the life of this character, like the relationship with his mother, the relationship with his brother and the brother fiance, the brother girlfriend, like the brother, the son's girlfriend.
The son's fiance.
Yeah, the son's fiance. Yeah. I don't know if they're like engaged or they're like just boyfriends.
Well, he got her pregnant, and Isabelle Huppert is not happy about it.
Spoiler alert, maybe not. Is they actually she was carrying like the daughter of someone else. So when you were saying earlier about like Elevated, I actually thought Elevated for a second when I was watching this, but I thought it from the perspective of Elevated Camp. I found this movie camp, like pretentious camp.
So let me, I agree with everything you say. Let me tell you that Elle it's a joke between you and me, because I don't even understand why it's a joke. I think I saw it and I really liked it, and you saw it and you didn't like it, and it was my recommendation. It's not that you didn't like it, you just didn't think it was as good as I did.
Yeah, I thought that Isabelle Huppert is amazing. Is that this was like the movie that just incredible. Convinced me 100%. About like she's probably one of the best actors out there. Is like how she can carry like this character and just make it believable, like just going through these things and just being like so hard ass, but at the same time like being human on it. It's like that requires talent.
But I don't understand why it's been this long-running joke, because I brought it up. If people have been listening to the podcast for any number of episodes, you will see that I brought this up as a joke to Jose many times. We went to a tiki bar last recording. I surprised him with this as a choice, and Jose, very drunk, chose to pick it. And now that we both watched it, I'm not sure what I was trying to accomplish by making us both watch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that it was more like I gave you a choice also of watching Celine Dion Ghost Boating again, and it's like you didn't pick it. But for me, it's like if I pick it now, this disappears. It never comes back. It's like because I'm not going to be like picking it up ever again. You know, this is my word of warning. It's like this was a once in a lifetime, free of jail, you know, kind of thing, and I went with it.
And I think that also, personally, I think Isabelle Huppert is probably the best actress in current times. So that makes me forgive some of her poor film choices. I don't think that like overcomes Jose's opinions about her.
Oh no, I agree with that part. I think that she carries this movie. It's like
she does, but I don't think her talent makes you willing to watch unimportant films.
No. I don't think that she's like that talented that I will be like I will watch everything. This is not like a oh god, what is the name of the guy in The Name of the Father?
I have no idea. I have no idea what that film is.
The Silver Thread? No, the Ghost Thread. Silver Thread?
Paul Thomas Anderson?
No.
The Phantom Thread?
The Phantom Thread. Yeah, no, the actor. No, I was gonna say no.
Oh, what's his fucking name? The most pretentious actor working in Hollywood.
Yeah, but he only has like 7 movies. Lincoln too, I think that he was like the main actor of Lincoln, you know. My Left Foot is that he only has like 7 movies total. But he was like, no. Everything that There Will Be Blood is that he's like
super method.
Yeah, super method is like I'm going to be like just picking up like perfect movies for me. And it's like you know that they're going to be good and that they're going to be like justifying watching something just because he is in it.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah.
Yes.
Not because he's like the best actor ever, but it's like because he's careful with what he picks. Isabelle Huppert, I had the feeling that look, you just went with a Paul Verhoeven movie.
You're completely accurate, 100%.
You elevated this a bit, but it's still camp.
But I feel like she is discerning with what she chooses to do, and I think, can you find a film she's done that's kind of like inconsequential? That's like, I haven't watched like too much stuff with her. I mean, I only think of her about Love and The Piano Player. The Piano Teacher.
The Piano Teacher,
which is one of the best films
God,
ever created.
That role is so amazing.
But also, you've seen other Michael Haneke films where she starred in.
Oh yeah, which ones?
So you saw The Romanovs. You saw Greta, which is not Michael Haneke.
I didn't see Greta.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Happy End. Did you see that? That was the most recent Michael Haneke film.
Yeah, you told me that it was not that good.
It was not that great.
Not bad, but yeah.
She has quite an impressive filmography. The Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, Tip Top, The Scapegoat, The Nun. She does a lot of films. I don't think she picks the...
Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, it's like I think that I would be like just checking, and if a film feels like, this may be okay, and if she is there, it's like, yeah, I will watch it. But if it's like, I'm not interested in this movie, that she's not going to be like changing my opinion about it.
So, tell me your opinion of the film, and be brutally honest, because I'm very surprised at my reaction to this film the second time.
I told you it's elevated camp. It's like if you actually change Isabelle Huppert for another actress, I think that it would be like just falling apart completely. I think that there is not enough substance to it. Let's just say. I think that it tries to portray like so many different things that at the end is like, what am I supposed to be taking out of this? Because some parts feels like completely like a comedy. It almost feels like a Christmas story in some aspects.
So I returned to this film as a big fan of it, thinking it was really not a great film, but a good film. And I, upon rewatching, was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this besides pure entertainment, besides pure, like, masochist, sadist kind of entertainment. It's like Shame. It's like, it's a very good portrait of something, and there's nothing more to it than that.
But at least in Shame, you know what is the tone of the movie, no? You know, it's like a drama about like self-destructive characters that they don't know how to love and how to express themselves.
But don't you feel the same about this film?
At some points I did, and at some points I had the feeling that it's like, no, it's a bit more about like just like a bit more of a redemption story for Isabelle Huppert, because at the end she tries to make amends with many of the things that she was doing. When she's like, okay, I'm going to be like connecting my ex-husband, I'm going to be like giving him an opportunity, I'm going to be like just like telling my best friend that I'm fucking his husband. It's like she says that I'm done with the lies, I'm done with things that are unhealthy. But at the point is like, what triggered this change?
And also it seems a little inauthentic to be like, I'm going to show you all of this content that's completely ridiculous, but I'm going to have the character move beyond all of this when it's completely like guilty pleasure sort of entertainment.
It almost felt like, look, this, if you have recorded it in the 90s, it would have been like Basic Instinct 2, because a part of it feels like a sexual psycho thriller.
And it is. I would say that's what it is. But I don't think it was particularly like...
But is it in French?
It's in French, so that obviously makes it better. It makes it more important than other films.
Yeah.
But I don't think... Besides the rapes, which happens over and over and over, I don't think this film introduced anything new. It didn't make me think differently about anything besides maybe like... There are women who have needs that can't be met besides being brutalized. And that's not interesting and it's not new.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think that that's more like the reality for him, you know.
Paul Verhoeven?
No, not Paul Verhoeven, like the neighbor. Spoiler alert, the rapist is the neighbor that is married to a very, very Christian woman.
Like a fundamentalist Christian who's obnoxious about her faith.
Yeah. But this guy is like, basically he cannot get off if he's not abusing violently of someone else.
It cannot be consensual.
He has to rape. He has to be like just abusive about it. And I think that for Isabelle Huppert, is like maybe there is a bit more of a masochist part, but I think that there is also a part of she always needs to be in control because of the cards that she was given. She was always like just prosecuted by society, and she had to fight like really hard against everyone that is against her. You know, so I think that that's the reason why partially there is a bit more of a I deserve this when she's getting raped, and that's the reason why she doesn't do anything, or also a part of I don't have to fight this.
So in terms of Isabelle Huppert's character, there's not a tremendous amount of character development besides the big like reveal that her father was a serial killer. But we are introduced to her son. And she's a very successful CEO, and her son is kind of a loser that works at, not McDonald's, but like...
The one that is in front of you, I love that.
The one next to McDonald's. And she's completely disapproving, she's completely unaccepting of the life he has chosen. And so it makes me like consider, how does this plot line fit into her... It's not a need, but a want to be brutalized sexually. And I don't know how it fits in the son, because we do find out about the husband and what he did, but it seems like the son is way more important than anyone else in the story.
Yeah, but there is never like too much about it. The only development that they do is like they reveal that the son is pretty attached to her best friend, Annika, I think that it was called. And or Anna, and
From A Christmas Tale.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, that's the reason she was familiar. So if he's like, yeah, I get it, but it doesn't tell me anything else about like who that person is, who the person that is like willing to accept a black kid as his son, like not even going to be like approving that, and then basically he kidnaps the kid.
Yeah, so her son has a girlfriend who gave birth. He thought the baby was his. The baby ended up being black.
Yeah.
The son is too stupid or unwilling to kind of question things, and she's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you the kid that I bore? Because this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like that's the reason why I think it's like, okay, this is camp. This is a comedy. And then you see the rapes and it's like, that's super violent. This is like super dramatic, They never develop it, it's a bit more, it's like, I don't exactly know what a movie I'm watching.
So when you say camp, I think of the creator of Nip Tuck and American Horror Story.
So Ryan Murphy?
Yes, I couldn't think of his name.
And John Waters.
John Waters. Do you feel like this is the same sort of camp as Ryan Murphy?
I think that it's elevated camp, but at the same time, you actually defined earlier, there is like, I'm seeing this for entertainment value. And that's what Ryan Murphy does. Entertainment value. He cannot think of anything else.
Yes, but I would see a deep distinction between another Paul Verhoeven film that you absolutely love. Tell me, what is it called?
I assume that it's going to be Total Recall.
It's not Showgirls?
I mean, I love Showgirls, but I was just trolling you. Yeah, Showgirls, I absolutely love it.
So I see what you're saying about this being camp, but I don't see it as being in the same kind of arena as Showgirls.
No, I mean saying that this is elevated camp. So, can you pass me the? Yeah. I think that this. Sorry, Showgirls. I think that it tries to be a bit more of a satire. About like the American dream that you can just go and make it big. Well, American. Vegas dream. I don't think that there is like American dream about like, I want to be a showgirl in Vegas. But from that perspective, I think that this, and also what's it called? I was going to say Starship Troopers. What was the name of that movie that he did in the 90s?
Paul Verhoeven?
Yeah. Like the one of the Marines going to other planets to just kill aliens.
Is it Basketball or something like that?
No. Let's check it out. I think that is 97, 99.
Let me see. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, but it's super famous. And it's another like kind of satire.
And he directed it?
Yeah, he directed it for sure.
Hollow Man?
No. Oh my god, he did
RoboCop, The Hitchhiker. You said it was the 90s?
Yeah.
So he did Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Showgirls, Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Yeah, Starship Troopers is supposed to be also like a bit of a satire, is it?
Yeah.
So I assume that he's always tried to do some kind of satire, but on this one I was like, is this supposed to be a satire of the medium high class in France? Well, high class probably, but I don't get it. It's not complete per se. I had the feeling that is that the rape is how that character would react to it.
I got the impression that whoever wrote the script, was it Paul Verhoeven? I don't think it was him.
Oh no.
I feel like that person thought that the start of the show was the rapes, and that would be what shocked people, and he didn't need to develop characters or a storyline beyond that.
But
super bums me out because
yeah.
I loved this film the first time I saw it. This time I just really liked it.
But I had the feeling that there are like way too many arcs around it for just being about, the rapes. The rapes are just one thing in there.
But why do you say that? Because there weren't enough characters?
No, because there are like many other arcs, like the relationship that he has with his mother, the relationship that he has with his son, the relationship that he has with his father, with her absent father, is that there is like many different things that they happen in her lives. And it's like even like how she reacts at the beginning of like, oh yeah, I got raped, and I just continue with my life. It's like she's even saying that this is not the most important thing for me. the relationship with the co-workers in the studio. There are like so many different arcs that it feels like the rapes are there almost for shock value.
And I would agree with that. And it disappoints me because again, upon first viewing of this film, I thought, wow, this is exactly my type of film. But upon second viewing, I'm like, there's not a lot of sense here in the script. I don't understand the character's motivations. That scene where she talks to her friends and her ex-husband, right, about being raped, she tells it very matter-of-factly. But then when people show concern, she's like, no, it's over. There's nothing to do. Yeah. I was like, is this real? It's not. It doesn't have any. It doesn't ring true in any sort of sense of the word.
Yeah. Even if you are like the kind of person who says, look, the police, I don't want to talk with them, you know, they actually just questioned me when I was 10 years old. Is that you are, 50 now? Or even 60?
At least, yeah.
At least, you know, it's like, so you're not going to be like calling the police after being assaulted in your own house and being raped? Is that I understand that is what they asked the mother about, like, are people attacking you on the street? You know, because of what my father did. Is that, yeah, it was like it's happening again, like it's a cycle. Is that they may assume that this is something that they have to live with. But she's not raped because of who she
Because
was.
of her father.
Exactly, no. Yeah. She's raped because the neighbor needs that.
And I also think that, like, the idea that she would not call the police because her father was a serial killer, I don't buy it. Yeah. I don't buy it at all. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't buy her motives. I didn't buy her neighbor's well, no, I did buy her neighbor's motives. I just felt like there are a lot of ideas in this film, but none of them connected very well. Yeah.
So at the end, I feel like the screenplay is just weak. You know, and it's like Isabelle Huppert holds it together, and it can give you like the mirage. I'm going to be like saying this almost like Notes on a Scandal. That is like if you don't think too much about it, it's like, wow, this was good. And then when you think a bit about it, it's like, this was not so good.
But tell me honestly, if you had to compare Notes on a Scandal and Elle, which one would you say was better? Be very careful with your response.
If I think about like the 5 minutes after watching each one of them for the first time, because I don't think that I will be watching Notes on a Scandal ever again, but if I were to think about like the 5 minutes after watching each one of them, probably Notes on a Scandal.
You would say Notes on a Scandal is better?
When Notes on a Scandal, when I finished, it was like, this was good. And then when I started thinking about it, then no, it wasn't. This was like completely smoke and mirrors. But the problem is like this one, when I finished watching it the first time, I felt it's like, what the fuck did I just watch? There is a pastiche of different ideas. But Isabelle Huppert is amazing. And it's exactly the same idea that I had this time. This time, even I reinforced it a bit more. Is I was thinking from the beginning, like, okay, we know that it's the neighbor, so this is something that I can... But it doesn't matter because it's not about the rape. It's about her as a whole.
But you could have that argument about Notes on a Scandal. It's about two specific actresses. It's about them.
But I think that is at the build-up of the mystery and, you know, like how they are like correlating about like a single fact is a more concise script than Elle.
So you said that you would prefer Notes on a Scandal based on the 5 minutes following the viewing. Yeah. But what about like a week after the viewing?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I felt scammed by Notes on a Scandal. So I would say I would prefer Elle. I would prefer Elle, but I'm not saying that Elle is better.
So I agree with everything you're saying. I think that I found Elle more entertaining than probably you did. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it has this rewatchability because I find Isabelle Huppert completely compelling. There's another French actress that I find completely fascinating from A Christmas Tale.
Oh, the friend, yeah. It's one with the daughter?
It's the daughter that's depressive, the playwright. So there's a lot I'm willing to forgive in this movie, but I understand that other people don't have that, like, that tolerance, that, like, patience. Yeah. And I will say that this film was a little disappointing based on my memory, and I really wanted you to watch it and admit that it was a great film. It's not. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is like when I was checking like the IMDb, and I said, okay, is there anything from Paul Verhoeven that is honest to God good? Like, good. That is, that there could be like a Criterion collection of this. An honest Criterion
So like
collection.
an Armageddon sort of.
An Armageddon kind of thing, or Election kind of thing, you know? And I was thinking, okay, I love Showgirls, but I love it because it's terrible. I love Total Recall. I think that is like probably one of the best early 90s sci-fi action movies.
And I've never seen it.
I really like it. I watched it like many times when I was growing up. But then I was thinking about everything else, you know, Starship Troopers, Basic Instinct. I said, no, this guy usually was a bit more for shock value, you know, and Showgirls is an example, and this is an example, you know. It's almost like just people remembering Ice White Sad only for the orgy scene, when there is like way more to it. But I don't think this one is like people are going to remember it because of the rape scene, but there is nothing to it. There is nothing to be remembered for.
But even the rape scene, and I agree with you, that was supposed to be what was memorable. But
but it wasn't.
The pool scene
in
Showgirls is way more memorable than any scene in this.
But for the wrong reasons.
I agree, but I just feel like Paul Verhoeven has the capability to establish these scenes that last with an audience, and he wasn't able to do that with this film.
No, honestly, going to one of the questions already, is I remember parts of this movie from where we watched it, you know, in the cinemas, but there is nothing that I want to remember from this, you know. It's a bit more like sometimes you think, wow, this was good. I don't think that I'm going to be like forgetting it. It's like on this one, it's like I'm telling my brain, it's like just forget it. Don't waste the space here. It's that there is nothing to remember about it.
So let's go into the questions then.
Yeah.
Would you watch it again?
No, please, no.
You really wouldn't?
I wouldn't. Why? I already watched it a second time, and it just confirmed my feeling of the first time about like this was not that good, but Isabelle Huppert is amazing.
I don't think this is a transcendental film, but I would watch this again and again and again and again.
Okay, that's interesting.
So, would you recommend it?
No.
What?
No. Who are going to be recommending this to? You know, it's like if I'm thinking about like, I would recommend A Christmas Tale, for example. If someone tells me that, hey, I want something that is a bit more of a dark French comedy, so yeah, Christmas Tale is great.
But that's also kind of Elle. It's a dark French comedy.
But that's the reason what I'm saying is like if someone is asking me for something very specific that Elle falls into, I will still like just think of other movies that they fall into the same bucket, that they're better.
Would you remember it?
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, 100%. I would show it to a lot of people. I think this has an attraction from like a, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like this has a Quentin Tarantino sort of attraction. Like it's super compelling, super entertaining, and there's not much beneath it.
But at least the scripts from Quentin Tarantino, they are engaging.
But I would say, for me personally, Elle is engaging. I was super committed to the story. I thought it was very entertaining. Is there any depth to it? No. But if I met someone like me, I would be like, yes, you have to you have to check out Elle.
Alright, that's fair.
So will you remember this? Is that the next question? Yes.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, as I was telling you, it's like I remember like half of the scenes from here. You know, I remember this. Okay, she's going to be like getting raped multiple times. The neighbor is the rapist. You know, and at the end, it's like she gets raped like one last time at home, and it's like someone comes by and kills him. And then I remember like the scene with the neighbor telling her, it's like, she was a very conflicted guy, but I'm happy that you could give him what he needed for a bit.
Yeah, that like ending tried to wrap things up in a nice way, but it feels a very like empty, this is nothing, this means nothing way.
Yeah, it's like, so should I start thinking that the wife knew everything, but it's like, are you going to be using that? How come someone that is so religious is rolling with something like this? Are you going to have like some kind of moral? No, they never go.
They don't address it. It's not important.
No. Because he can't. I think that Paul Verhoeven is incapable of actually doing like anything that is transcendental in that aspect.
I mean, Showgirls.
It's transcendental for the wrong reasons. Let's just leave it like that.
So would you... Oh, so is there anything artistic about it? My answer is no. I mean, this is a fine... It's not fine. It's an okay film. There is not a single shot, not a single character, not a single line from the script where I would be like, this. You need to watch this.
I mean, I'm thinking the acting from Isabelle Huppert is amazing, but it's amazing more like, you know, like the kind of... let's say, if the script is a 3, you know, and her acting is a 9, is like, I don't think that there are so many movies that they have such a big difference between like how much value
the skill of the leading lady.
You know, wow, the difference here is way too big. But beyond that, no, I was thinking at the beginning, and that's the thing, at the beginning it feels like shocking, you know, that, and then everything feels so trite from that point. But at the beginning we see in the bathtub, and you see that she's bleeding, and she's like, okay, just
that
hide.
was actually an intense scene.
It was an intense scene, but it's that there is probably that's the biggest one, and then you have like some kind of scenes that they're almost like rom-com level. Then it's like, who the fuck wrote this script? What are you trying to do?
And Paul Verhoeven did not write the script, so don't hold that against him. He's just a fantastic director.
Sure. I would say probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, me neither. Is there anything artistic about it? We just answered that. Is it a timely piece?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the topics... The problem is that as it doesn't address any kind of topic in a complete way, I think that I will get the same value of this movie now and 100 years in the future. If I were alive, that is close to 0.
So you do... Well, that's not what I thought you would say.
Yeah.
I do think this is a timeless piece because there's nothing that roots it into the current time being besides like bad video game, you know, impressions. But yes, it is completely timeless. But the message that is timeless is completely unimportant. Yeah. There's nothing to it. There's no substance here.
So it's usually how defining. I like how you design it, how you define this. That is a bit more of a. Do they talk about like human topics that they're always going to be relevant? And in this case, honestly, I don't even know what topics are they talking about.
Yeah, there's no like. The topic is rape. It's rape, and it's like masochism and sadism. That's it. There's nothing, there's no depth to this.
But it's one of the topics, and they don't explore it that much, you know, because then they actually talk about, like, are you responsible for the actions of your parents?
No.
Well, in this movie, she was. I mean, she was like just held responsible because of them. So,
but because of public opinion, not because of
exactly,
yeah.
Not the piece, but it's like it's a bit more as I see. I actually grew up with that, you know. So it just touches like many other things about like sexual aspects, you know, about like just fooling around with people that they're married. Is that okay or not? Because she does it all the time. It's like she's a character that is not lovable per se. She's a bitch. But at the same time, she's a victim.
She is a bitch. I mean, I love her, but she's a bitch.
Yeah, but at the same time, she's a victim. So it's like, there are topics there, but if you don't develop them completely, is what I was saying, is like from the perspective of the topics that they're on the movie, yeah, they're timeless. But they're not important.
They're not important at all. There's no substance, there's no depth to this, and it breaks my heart to say that, but yes.
Yep.
I wanted this film to be deep, with gravitas, and like... No. But there's not.
There's nothing.
So would you turn this into a TV show?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that there are like many things that they could be developed, you know, from the perspective of, okay, let's explore more the relationship with their child, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care because you haven't proved that you can give depth to this.
Yep, I completely agree. I do not... I enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's that good. but I don't want to see like 6 more hours about it.
Oh, yeah, no. Hell no.
And so the last question before we score it is, do you think it could have been better?
Yes, but it's like you have to rewrite the whole script if you want to make it about a victim that just gets trapped into this sexual game and then at the end exercise vengeance. Just write it better. If you want to be a bit more about like just the victim of like society critique because of something that the father did, do it better. Don't try to do like 4 different movies in one.
I agree with you, and I think that the daughter of a serial killer, that's a compelling storyline. Yeah. And I love Isabelle Huppert, and I think there's lots of compelling components about the storyline. But yes, this film could have been so much better. I don't even know where to start. We could have started with a better scriptwriter. And a director with a little bit more vision. So yes, my answer is absolutely this could have been better.
All right.
So all that's left is to score the film.
So my score, I actually just, and even at this point I'm still like just between 2 values. I'm going to say like a 5.5.
All right. So mine is a 6, and I feel completely good about that score because this is just a little bit above mediocre.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And I was going to go with a 6 at the beginning of the podcast, but it's like I convinced myself that is like this. Look, if exactly what you're saying is like, is this good? Like just plain good? Is it, for me, it's not. Isabelle Huppert carries this movie, but it just carries it from being a train wreck into something tolerable.
And to be honest, it's only Isabelle Huppert who elevates it just a tiny bit. It's her performance. Otherwise, if this was any other actress, I would be like, this is a piece of shit film.
Yep. What was the name of the actress from Rust and Bone?
Oh my god. She was the one in...
And we went to the cinema to watch that other one that she gets fired and she gets tried to convince like all the co-workers. Yeah.
What is her name?
I like that actress quite a bit. I would like to see more with her. But yeah, I mean, for example, is that the thing is like only Isabelle Huppert could play this because there is a very dramatic aspect to it and there is a comedy part to it. And I don't think that actress, for example, could be good on the comedy part.
Yes, I agree with you. I feel like there has to be something else besides that performance, which makes this film a little bit more interesting to me, and maybe there's nothing. I desperately want to find it, but there's nothing.
I honestly, I had like the same feeling. This confirmed like my feeling from the first viewing. I was like, this is not good. It's hard to watch, but it's hard to watch for the wrong reasons. It's not about like heart-wrenching or anything. It's a bit more like this is a comedy, this is a psycho-sexual thriller.
It was like The Piano Teacher light.
Maybe, but it has like comedy parts. It's that you're never going to find what are the comedy parts in any Haneke film. In any.
No, that's true.
It's that he knows I'm making a drama. It's that there may be like some point that you may chuckle for a second, but it's drama.
But then you will hate yourself for chuckling.
Exactly. It's that you don't chuckle when Beanie's video, when Beanie's actually just killing the girl.
So this is your second time watching this film. Yep. Did you like it more the first or second time?
I think that I thought that it was better the first time. If you had asked me at that point what is the score of this, probably would say like 6.5. Okay. On this time I felt it's like, no, I should go with my gut. This was not good. I mean, I appreciate that Isabelle Huppert, she actually got a nomination for this movie. And I feel like that's pretty bold, but she's amazing in this movie. It's like she carries it by herself.
Well, thank you for finally watching Elle with me. You know that I've bugged you for months about wanting to do this.
Yeah.
And this was my pick, so what are we watching next?
So... now I feel a bit bad about like doing this, but I'm going to give you also like three picks.
All right, let's hear it.
Yep, but there are 3 picks from a trilogy of movies. similar to, for example, like, you already know where I'm going, like white, blue, and red, but it's not that.
Is it Lord of the Rings 1, 2, or 3?
That would be interesting, but those are 3 hours movies. I'm not going to be like forcing myself to do that. So, my picks are Strictly Ballroom, Romeo plus Juliet, and Moulin Rouge.
Wow, I didn't expect this at all.
Well, I think that I presented to you Moulin Rouge like several times, and you mentioned once Strictly Ballroom, and I think that you or someone else told me about like Romeo plus Juliet is probably one of the best adaptations. It was you?
I don't think I said it was the best adaptation. I think I said it was the best Baz Luhrmann film, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Someone told me that actually is like from an pure adaptation perspective, that is like 2 movies. It's like if you ignore the fact that it's like just with anachronisms about like, oh, it's in normal time, it's like most of the dialogue and most of the original arcs are actually just maintained intact.
So let me ask you this. We don't typically review 2 films in a podcast. Would you be open to reviewing 2 Baz Luhrmann films in a single podcast?
I would.
Okay. Then I'm going to pick Romeo plus Juliet and Moulin Rouge.
You're leaving Strictly Ballroom out?
I've never seen Strictly Ballroom, but I want to watch Romeo plus Juliet, and I want to watch Moulin Rouge again.
Okay, no, I'm absolutely fine. It's like I only watched Romeo plus Juliet once, long time ago. And it's like I always almost to present you with 2 trilogies, one versus the other, and the other one was going to be like the ones of, how's it called, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. The Song of the Dead,
Shaun of the Dead.
Hot Fuzz, and the World's End,
I'm glad you presented the Baz Luhrmann version.
Yeah, because I know that otherwise you would have gone with the World's End, because I think that you really like that movie.
I loved that movie.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, we will go to that one.
At some point.
Yeah, at some point. So, you want to do a double feature?
I do. I want to do a double feature, and honestly, I'm not going to ask you to commit to this, but I'm going to watch Strictly Ballroom, and then I'm going to discuss all 3 films with the same context.
Holy shit.
I'm not asking you to do it. I'm not.
No, I would do it because I really want to watch Strictly Ballroom. I have never watched it. I don't know if you told me something
I haven't
about
either.
it. But some people told me that it's a good movie.
Okay, so let me shift things. Let's watch Strictly Ballroom and Romeo plus Juliet.
But I love Moulin Rouge.
I know you do. I know you do.
It's my favorite guilty pleasure, honestly. Even like
let's do a triple feature, man.
Okay.
A triple feature.
Let's
all
try.
3.
Let's not commit 100%. Let's try it. It's like we can start from the beginning. From Strictly Ballroom, jump to Romeo plus Juliet, and if we have time, like just get to Moulin Rouge. So I'm going to be like heading home, and I'm going to be like just watching Strictly Ballroom tonight.
All right, deal.
And besides that, that's a very good celebration for where we may do our next podcast.
Which is Lone Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is reopening.
We might be at a live gay bar in 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah. A bar that we have been like just buying merchandise from for
Trying
just
to
keeping them
support for
afloat.
like over a year now.
Yep. Yeah.
Just hoping they would open.
Yeah. Anything else to say about the latest Paul Verhoeven masterpiece?
I really just want to thank you for going on this journey with me. You know how important Elle is, and I just value the fact that you were willing to watch it with me. I just value that so much in our friendship, so thank you.
Of course, man. You're welcome. I also value that you're willing to just rewatch Baz Luhrmann movies for me. That speaks a lot, also. Okay, well, if we don't have anything else to say about
That's
Elle,
it.
yeah?
I mean, there's not much to say about that movie.
Yeah, and anything else to say to our listeners?
Just wash your hands until you're vaccinated.
And well, probably just
And maybe after that.
yeah, maybe that.
Yeah.
Bye.